It says in this week's Parsha, it says, Yimtzo'eyu be'eretz midbar. Hashem discovered us in a desert land, in a desolation. Uvetoyu yelei yeshimoin. And in the howling wilderness. Have you ever been in a wilderness? There's howling, there's hyenas, there's tigers, there's snakes, there's scorpions. And that's where Hashem discovered us. What does it mean? Explains Rashi as follows. We were in Mitzrayim, and we had the courage to go out in the midbar. And that's when Hashem saw that we have bitochen in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And I'd like to explain. In the year we have beginning as Pesach. Pesach is a festival of emunah, in faith in Hashem. We believe Hashem, there's Dom, Tzofardei, Akinim. Hashem is in control of the whole world. He created the world. And we're sitting at home, sharing with our children the idea of emunah, of having faith in Hashem. That is the day of emunah. A celebration of emunah is on Pesach in Passover. Sukkot is a day of bitochen. We believe Hashem is in control of the world. We believe Hashem that we have nothing to fear. So we take the emunah we learned from the Eser Makkos, and we now have the courage to leave our comfort zone. We can go out in the midbar, in the desert, in the wilderness. And there's so much danger in the wilderness, but we're not scared. Why were we not scared? Because we took the emunah that we learned and we use it, we bring it out, and we are able to go into a desert in the desert and not be scared from the dangers that there is in the desert, because that's after we have the emunah. Sukkot is a time of bitochen. Sukkot is time that we actually leave our house. We go into the sukkah, and Hashem said, I discovered you. When did He discover us? Not in Mitzrayim, not with the Eser Makkos, but we took the emunah, we went into the desert, and then we showed that we really live emunah. By living emunah, that's how Hashem discovered us. When Hashem see this, what's the hemshech of the posuk? Says the hemshech of the posuk is Sevevenu. Then Hashem came and surrounded us with the clouds of glory. Yevoineneu, He gave us knowledge with the Torah. Yitzarenu ki isha einoi, and He guarded us like the pupil of His eye. How are we zoicha to the Anoni HaKoved of Sukkot? How are we zoicha closeness to Hashem? But we first have to make that step. We have to go out of our comfort zone, go out of our houses, and go out of our psychological comfort zone, and show to Hashem, I'm doing what's right. You will help me. You will save me. You will guard me. You will protect me. I am not scared to go out of my comfort zone. And then Hashem will come and you'll see great miracles. To illustrate this, there's a story about Rabbi David Drey. He was a Rav in Gateshead over 80 years ago. And he was a shoichet in Gateshead. And he sent letters to many Rabbonim in Europe to come to Gateshead after the Second World War in order to make a Kollel HaRabbonim, to found a Kollel HaRabbonim, which is for Bochrim, or young married boys, that they needed to learn. They needed to have a structure for learning to become the future Dayonim, future Rabbonim. Who will be the future Rabbonim? It was after the war. There were no Beis HaMedrash, there were no yeshivas. Who will educate these Bochrim? So he said we have to build a Kollel Rabbonim in Gateshead where the boys will be able to come. The survivors from the Second World War will come to Gateshead to be able to learn in the Kollel Rabbonim. He sent a letter to many Rabbonim who wants to come to help him found this kollel, and no one answered. There was one man who answered. It was the holy Rav Dessler. Rav Dessler was a Rav in London at the time. He was giving shurim at the time, very comfortable. But he realized, like Rabbi David Drey, that there's a need for this type of institution and establishment. We need to have a kollel, a structure, a place where Bochre will be able to come and learn and be the future leaders, the future Talmidei Chachomim for Am Yisrael. So he left London, and he went to Gateshead to found this Kollel HaRabbonim. And until today, the hundreds of Rabbonim throughout Europe are thanks to this Kollel HaRabbonim that they got the education to become Rabbonim, and then they were able to later go and found Kehillas in Europe. So, Rav Dessler writes that when I left London, I didn't know how I will found this kollel. You know what it is to support a younger man, to be able to give them every week their wages after a war, with even the richest people, they didn't have the houses. The houses were bombed by the Blitz in England. And nevertheless, he said, I'm doing for Am Yisrael, I'm doing for Hashem, and this is the need what I need to do. I'm going to go, and Hashem b'siyata d'shmaya. And he said, Rav Dessler, every Friday, because in London they give the wages on the end of the week. Every Friday I was able to balance my budget and pay everyone his wages that was becoming to him. And never entered Shabbos with a debt owing to anyone money. He said such great siyata d'shmaya he saw. You know why? Because I'm doing something for Hashem, for Am Yisrael. You leave your comfort zone. You do something what you think is right to do. And it looks like a desert. It looks dangerous. You don't have the courage. But Sukkot teaches us, leave your house. Go in this sukkah. You know what will happen? You will see clouds of glory. You will see Hashem, that He has come, the closeness to Hashem. Such a miracle, such siyata d'shmaya. Many, many Rabbonim, when you look at their lives, they weren't scared. They built. They went, the Ponovitch Harov, he was 60 years old. He came to Eretz Yisrael, to Bnei Brak. And he was 60 years old. He built this huge yeshiva. And people said, how many Talmidim have you got? He had 6 Talmidim, and one of them was Rav Gershon Edelstein, today's Rosh Yeshiva. And they said, you built such a huge... He had the vision, I'm building. And then he was zocher to see such a great idea of the Torah. How he came back, the Yiddishkeit after the Second World War, thanks to their vision. Thanks, they weren't scared to rebuild. They weren't scared. All these Rav Dessler, the Ponovitch Harov, they had the vision. They rebuilt. They didn't just look at themselves. They looked at Am Yisrael, and they saw this great siyata d'shmaya that they had. Somebody actually came to the Holy Reb Kahneman, a Blazer Kahneman, and he said, I have a complaint to your grandfather, the Ponovitch Harov. I said, what's the complaint? He said that why did he build such a small yeshiva? There's no space for the boys. They're accepting now, I think every year, over 300 boys. Every year, that's a share of 300 boys. That's a great success that we see today. But it's all thanks to what? To people who are ready to go in the desert. People are ready to go out of their comfort zone, and then they see great siyata d'shmaya and great success. May we be zoicha as well to go further, to find out there's a whole year ahead of us. Try to see what can I do, not to be discouraged. What can I do? Nachon, it may look difficult, to do something special and to see great siyata d'shmaya. Be zoicha to have a wonderful Shabbos, and thank you very much for listening.